Hooray.
All right. Hey, everyone. We're back for Friday Flows, and with a familiar face, we're joined today by Chris Kohanek. How you doing, Chris?
I'm living the dream. Blake, how are you doing?
Good. We're doing well. I'm excited for today's topic. So, a couple things prompted this episode. One, Chris actually did a webinar around integrating HashiCorp Vault and 1Password a couple weeks ago. So I'll put a little link to that webinar, which was super useful. And then maybe a week or so after that, at HashiCorp's annual conference, they announced Tynes won emerging partner of the year. So that was cool to see our org starting to collaborate a little more. So we are going to double down on that theme today and continue talking about HashiCorp, but more around their Terraform Cloud offering and how Tynes can help there. So rather than me fumble through the use case here, Chris, tell us a little bit more about what we'll be looking at today.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for that. So recently I had a value-added reseller partner asked me a bit about how do we use Tynes along with our infrastructure as code methodology, and they're using Terraform Cloud. So sharing my screen here. Terrific. So where I normally start when I'm asked about a particular topic, in this case, how do I use Tynes in order to automate processes around Terraform Cloud? I'll start at the story library, see what my coworkers and their clients have been working on. Here in the story library, when we started out doing some of these recordings, we had just broken 500 stories in the story library. A couple weeks later, we're now surpassing 600. So great progress here in the story library. I'll just do a quick search for Terraform in the library and took a look at ones that would interest me. The one that came to mind was the respond to and configure Terraform Cloud run tasks. So whenever Terraform Cloud runs a configuration, it can do some automation off board away from Terraform Cloud itself. And that's a great tie-in for Tynes. So I went to that one and then just click on the import button to import that story into your own tenant. This is one that was created by my colleague Sean Finn, so quick shout out to him. But what's going to happen in Terraform Cloud is, even though the task of creating the infrastructure is based on the Terraform file itself, there may be a lot of ancillary types of activities that need to happen, whether it's documentation or opening tickets or getting approval for changes in the cost of that infrastructure. All of those types of activities are important, but not built right into Terraform Cloud. So that's where Tynes comes in to create the automation that works for your organization and works exactly the way that you want it to. In this case, we're getting that notification from the Terraform Cloud during a run, and I'll show you how to set that up in a moment. But create the ticket in Jira, create a message in a Slack channel, and then depending on whether that action is approved or declined, we'll take other steps as far as calling back to Terraform and letting them know to initiate that action, getting the cost estimation, writing that information back to Jira, and getting the information from Terraform. So how does that work on the Terraform side? So here in Terraform Cloud, I'm taking a look at my organization, and we can create run tasks. And run tasks are the initiating webhook in order to create those automations outside of Terraform Cloud. I've created one for Tynes that has the endpoint URL that corresponds to the webhook that initiates this process. I've saved that. And now in my run task for a a particular project. So I've got a project as part of my workspaces. Within that project, I want to add that run task to any of the runs for this particular project. I don't have any set up yet, but I can add that example that we just saw in the organization settings. We want this to run pre-planned. So just as it's kicking off the build and the plan within Terraform Cloud, we want it to initiate at that point and then wait for Tines to move that process forward. I will go ahead and create that in the demo project. Great. And let's kick off a run. And then we'll give it a reason to start running. And we'll just do, say, refresh the state of this particular infrastructure. And we'll start the run. That initiates not only the run in Terraform Cloud, but it also kicks off the Tines automation by hitting that webhook. So it should have created that Jira ticket and post a message in my Slack channel where I can approve, decline the request, or take a look at that Jira ticket. Let's go ahead and approve it. And Tines continues with the automation, kicking off the run. So the pre-plan is passed, it is refreshed, and it's completed over on the Terraform side. So we can take a look at the Jira ticket that was created as part of this process. Not only has it created the information around this particular story run, but any of the costs that were incurred as part of it, and any information that was passed back from Terraform Cloud is documented. So it keeps the folks in either the DevOps or the engineering IT teams that are having to go and initiate changes to infrastructure from having to stop what they're doing, jump into a ticketing system, get the approvals needed, all of those swivel chair actions that Tines is famous for getting rid of as part of people's workday.
That was cool to see it in action. That was one of the faster. The automation beat you before you could switch tabs. That's a good sign. And then I'm always curious, like you just said with the swivel chair problem, Chris. Like, so we just saw that automation run in seconds. Roughly how long would it take today without an automation workflow to get through everything you just kicked off?
Yeah, so creating a ticket, copy pasting that information, getting approvals, all of those things take time. I was at a recent trade show, and one of our customers came up to me and said, even those things that take 1 minute, if I don't automate it, I'm wasting 59 seconds. So it's great for not just the time savings, but also the consistency of the record keeping that's happening. We know that it's going to happen every single time. We keep good records. We keep auditable records so that we get to audit time. We can prove that this is what we do every single time, and we've got the documentation to back it up. If something goes sideways, we know exactly when things happen, what was approved, when it happened, if costs are going through the roof, we know incrementally when these things happen. So it's just great for consistency in addition to that time savings.
Great. Okay, thanks for running us through that. And we mentioned your previous webinar, so we'll post the link, but just in a couple sentences, Chris, what was the topic you covered in that one a couple weeks ago?
Yeah, so it's secrets management on both 1Password and in HashiCorp Vault. So how do we not only manage secrets in those two platforms in an automated way, but how can we also ingest those secrets into Tines or just use them by reference so that if if a secret changes in HashiCorp Vault, I don't have to stop what I'm doing, change the credential over in Tines. We can set up the credential in Tines to dynamically pull that information from Vault, so it never really lives in Tines, and it doesn't have to be updated, which is very useful for frequently changing secrets.
Cool, great. So if you're a Vault user, go check that out. Terraform Cloud user, you have this now. And then I'm sure with that partnership blossoming, again, thanks to Sean Finn, we'll put your smiling face in here. I'm sure we'll keep building out more stories along these lines. So good one to start with. Thank you.
Anytime.
See ya.